So we've met it at last. I understand very well why it has chosen to make an appearance. That whale does not belong to Tevat. It is a monster that has traversed the stars, weeping all the while. It has been greedily consuming the energy from the planet's and once it has finished consuming all of the energy contained within the—
You said that when the Hydro Archon first created Fontanians out of Oceanids.
Precisely. That whale finds the blood of Fontanians nigh impossible. Therefore, when it left the Primordial Sea, it decided to make its next stop a pact.
We just barely managed to push it back, right?
That is correct. Indeed, it is more accurate to say that we should thank that harbor. From the way he looked, he must have been fighting the creature for—
That battle maniac. We've always known that he had a special— Anyway, now that we know that this whale is the actual cause of the disaster recorded in the prophecy,
It is too late. It had already absorbed too much of the Primordial Seas. Even if the entirety of Tevat were to be destroyed,
That's not something We've already done everything we can, and we've come so far.
Indeed. That's not how a grand performance should end.
I'll fight it to the end. No matter what.
So the prophecy will be fulfilled no matter what, huh?
The prophecy. Yes, what has been prophesied will be fulfilled. You may view such things as the history of the future. Just as prophecies are usually only the future as seen from the perspectives of the gods, could things be happening in hidden corners? Ultimately, fate shall serve as your only guide, no matter what will happen in Tevat's future.
What's happening with the oratories?
I believe it is preparing to carry out the death sentence.
Farina! No, I still need answers.
You...
Sorry. That shocked expression on your face is just too amusing. I couldn't help myself.
You are not Farina. Who are you?
The sweet sound of bewilderment. Marvelous. A sure sign that my attempt to deceive everyone was a resounding success. But to answer your question, I am Focalor. You know, the god.
Focalor. Why did you deceive us?
Oh, that wasn't my goal, of course. Goodness, no. But I had to fool everyone else too. The heavenly principle.
Deceiving the heavenly principles?
It's all because of that pernicious prophecy. Dreadful, wasn't it? Everyone doomed to dissolve. One was not amused. In fact, one was positively bemused. She knew full well that the prophecy— And as one of the seven, she also knew full well that one defies the heavenly principles at one's peril. So yes, as you have no doubt surmised, it was a rather impossible situation that I found myself in. I spent a terribly long time mulling it over, alone on the ocean floor. And I was almost I had to outwit the heavenly principles, allow the prophecy to be fulfilled, ostensibly at least. I'm a genius, I know. I can only assume that, although, looking back now, it was hardly the inheritance one dreams of. But one can only play the hand one is dealt. I did not choose this, any more than I chose to be one.
So you were also once one of the Oceanids?
Yes, I was. I always dreamed of becoming human. And I still do, even now. In my eyes, to be human is to be part of the greatest opera ever known. After becoming a god, I separated my divinity from my body and spirit, leaving behind only a self that was as naive and bewildered as my past self on her. The me you see before you now is that divinity. And the human counterpart I left behind, I named Farina. She could feel joy, sorrow, and everything in between. She could be as vain and conceited, or as meek and vulnerable as she wished. Her strengths were of a kind only a human could possess, as were her shortcomings. But in my eyes, Farina's humanity was what made her perfect. She was perfectly human in every way. The person I always wanted to be. Anyway, so then I cursed her. All part of the plan, of course. Do you still remember the final scene of the prophecy? In order that the prophecy might appear fulfilled, under the curse I placed on her, so long as I, Focalor's divinity, continued to exist, she could not die. But nor was she free to live her life in the pursuit of happiness. Instead, she was forced to take the stage in the opera house. I suppose now you probably understand why your court is called.
But Farina is only human. Even though she has had a long life, her mind is no... I cannot begin to fathom what she has had to endure.
It has indeed. And although she is, in a sense, it's been 500 years. And all along, she's been playing her part in the most unimaginably long, unbearably lonely, and agonizingly painful opera of all time.
Oh, who permitted you to come onto the stage? Now, I understand your admiration for my august self, but I must ask you to keep to the rules. All right. It is not my intent to reprimand you. There is no need to state your name. Just be off with you. Do not distract me from my performance. Oh, do not jest. Can you not feel it? I am Focalor. The eyes of countless Fontanians are upon me. I must, at all times, display the...
Dear audience, the performance is experiencing a technical difficulty, but worry not. The guards shall resolve it soon.
Let the show begin. I see everything.
Illusion!
Committed to memory.
Go! Bombs away! There is no escape!
Hey, what gives? The audience is still watching me, you know. Guards? Wait, where are the guards? Guards!
Go!
This may turn a little.
Shine down!
Grow!
Illusion shattered!
Farina.
Huh? Who's that? Who's calling me? Where are you?
Be not nervous. Be not afraid. I am before you.
Wait a moment. You're Mirror me?
Mirror you, huh? You know what? That's not bad. Let's go with that.
Mirror me?
The prophecy.
What prophecy? Wait. I know. I think. I don't know why, but it's in my head somehow. The people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only the Hydro Archon will remain, weeping on her throne.
Oh, very good.
What's going on? I can't seem to remember.
Yes, it will. And that is why I've come to you. Disaster will come to Fontaine soon.
But doesn't that mean everyone will die? I'm a Fontainian just like them. Will I dissolve too?
Oh, don't worry. Magical meetings exist in this world precisely to give people a chance to turn things around. I will tell you how to save everyone, but you may have to suffer somewhat.
Oh, so there's still hope after all. As for the suffering, but if the prophecy will come true, I'll also die anyway, right? So if I've already met you as my magical meeting in this world, if there were scales, with all the people of Fontaine on one side, and my
You truly are. I suppose this would also be the justice that belongs to you.
Huh?
Don't worry, it's nothing. Listen well. Fontaine has just lost its
Play as a god.
That's right. You must begin a never-ending masquerade. You must never let if you can keep it up, then I shall have my way of defying this prophecy. But should your identity be revealed, then all hope will be lost.
But how will I do this? A human assuming the role of a god without being exposed.
Don't worry. What you must do is not to turn yourself into a real god. You simply need to play the role of a god as humans imagine them to be. Being a human yourself, I'm sure you already know. Remember, your true challenge will not be pursuing divinity.
I'm still not sure I understand, but so how long am I going to have to play this role?
To accomplish this mission, you will have to stay on the stage for many, but I promise you, all will eventually end in a magnificent and dramatic trial, and everyone will be saved.
A trial, huh? How exciting. I'll be looking forward to it. The Maison Cardinalise has announced my accession. But what should I say to most appear like a ladies and gentlemen, good evening, and welcome to the Opera Epiclese. I'm sure you've all heard about how I have taken on the role of Hydro Archon. Indeed, I am Verena de Fontaine, your new Archon. In truth, I know little about becoming a nation's new god, but it will be my honor to guide you all. As the god Focalor, the god of justice, I shall do all within my power to lead you into an age of fairness. Once again, thank you all for coming. If you should have any questions or this should do it. I thought I might stammer, but thankfully, I was able to convey my thoughts just fine. Okay, and next.
That's the new Hydro Archon. Is this some kind of joke by the Maison? I would have thought that a being that surpasses humanity would be...
Hey, did you hear that? She even told us to send her suggestions there at the end.
Shouldn't gods be all-powerful? She's being so modest. What's the difference between her and an ordinary person, then?
If you ask me, perhaps the succession didn't actually happen. She might just be a Maison-back puppet.
Wait, what's going on? Why is everyone suspecting me of being a fake? Oh, this is bad. If I get exposed here, there'll be no saving the people. Right. Mirmi said that I just need to play the role of calm down, Verena. Think assertive, with a strong sense of presence. One who can dispel all doubt. That is the character Oh, Now, I was wondering if some weak puppet were to one day come onto the stage and claim ownership of this opera house, would the children of Fontaine Well, it seems that you would all see right through them. Having passed my test, you are qualified to witness wondrous trials alongside my august self, here in this opera house. You may consider my previous act a door gift of sorts. I thought it was a debut that suited the atmosphere. Now then, let us be reintroduced.
Ah, so that was just a performance. How could I have forgotten that we were inside an opera house?
Her personality. It's quite shocking, to be honest, but I suppose it's a better look than before.
Such a fascinating and bold deity. How wonderful! Our future may yet be bright after all.
It seems I've turned them around. Best follow this flow and restart my dear people. Whether you acknowledge me or not, whether you trust me or nay, I say to you, keep faith in your ardor for justice. We have heard it said that this nation's sins can no longer be washed away. Well, I say that justice is most fragrant when it blooms amid sin. No, this won't work. They'll suspect me again. I must play the role that they want me to play. The scales of justice should not weigh heavy in the hands of its God. On one side, it must carry fairness and justice. And on the other, praise and applause. May law be the prayer on our lips. May judgment be our worship. Let us light the fires and drink to the future of Fontaine. There is no trouble in this world that justice cannot solve. All that is needed is for you, my people, to believe in it, heart and soul. So long as I, the Archon Focalor, stand within the Opera Epiclese, so long as I stand before the Oratrice, I shall even judge the gods of this world!
Lady Farina, here are today's case reports, as well as a summary of the follow-up for your perusal.
Come now, was I not just at the Opera House in person? Besides, none of these trials were the one that I'm
If I may be so impertinent, what kind of trial are you truly looking forward to?
A magnificent, dramatic, and wondrous trial. A trial to end all things. How could you hope to understand?
That's true. I fear I lack the ability to grasp your divine thought, Lady Archon.
No need for fright, and do not take what I said before too seriously. Go now, do your duties. The trial I await. It will come one day.
Lady Farina, I don't know what to say. Thank you for agreeing to see me.
No need to thank me. Or rather, thank your own sense of perseverance instead. Long have you stood... Oh, I'm afraid that's just an inevitable consequence of... All right. Deoteria, is it? How is your son's illness?
You remembered me, and he is doing much better now. In fact, he is far more of an ardent
Good. Very good. If this should happen again in the future, please do not hesitate to come and tell me. Going down to citizens' homes every so often, while not usual practice, should serve as a fine change of pace.
Ah, you're such a gentle and wise god. Thank you once again, on behalf of my son.
Lady Farina, here are the latest hydrological reports. As for the specific parameters you asked to take note of, I'm afraid things still don't look good.
I see. It's as I thought then. As your god, I did already expect this, but I wanted to see how far your human wisdom would allow you to analyze it. All manner of signs indicate that the prophecy will still come to pass.
Well, as I understand it, the Fontaine Research Institute is also trying to find a way to counter the rising water levels.
Really? Have they found anything?
I'm afraid that they haven't found any effective solution thus far.
Oh, is that so? Well, no wonder. This issue has reached the realm of the gods, after all. The day is finally over. I haven't had a moment to breathe this, but it's good to see that everything's getting on track. There are no longer any. Maybe this is fine. I just need to keep going. All right, Farina, don't think too hard about this. You need rest. Tomorrow's a new day.
Lady Farina, here are the new trial reports for the...
There'll be no need for that. I've seen them already. There's no need to go back over scenes I've witnessed in person before.
Lady Farina, I've waited so long for this chance.
Indeed, my dear, loyal citizen.
Lady Farina, we're detecting significant hydrological anomalies near Poisson.
Understood. Keep monitoring. Keep me informed should anything come up. I don't think I let anything slip today. I must show the people that there is nothing to worry about. I just don't know when these days will end. I feel utterly exhausted. Best to rest early today, too.
Lady Farina, it's like a dream being able to speak with you up close like this. I've heard that the first member of our family who was honored to receive an audience with you.
And what a fine family yours is indeed. It brings me great joy to meet such a faithful believer, a descendant of a line most ardent.
Surely you exaggerate, Lady Farina. My lady?
What is it, good citizen?
Are you crying?
Really now? I didn't even notice. This must be the overflow of hydro from my person. Well, can't quite help being the god whose dominion is the waters, can I?
No wonder. No wonder. A manifestation of your power, then. Oh, Archon, I am honored to have witnessed it. Honored indeed.
So interminable. So lonely. Just how much longer? Hundreds of years must have passed by now. Perhaps the show must go on for hundreds more. I never imagined that it would hurt so much. Have I reached my limit? No. Perhaps I reached it long ago. Today I didn't even notice my own tears. I want to tell someone, anyone, about this. But would that not destroy all I've done so far? I've conducted so many investigations across the centuries. But there's not even a sliver of hope that we might break the prophecy. All I can do is keep heart. I must maintain this act. It is the only way to save Fontaine. Please, mirror me. You have to succeed.
Farina, you don't have to shoulder this burden alone. Although I don't know what you might be keeping from everyone. Your people are more than willing to share.
Share? That's impossible. It was fated right.
But even if your burden doesn't need to be shared, you can still choose to confide in someone. Just share it with me. I'm what you'd call a witness.
A witness? Yes. I've heard that you came to Tevat from beyond the stars, yes. In other words, you never belonged here. And if Tevat is, in its entirety, a show on a stage, then you're just a... If that's the case... He's right. I could confide in him, couldn't I? But if things don't play out as expected, the people of Fontaine will be the ones to pay the price. No, Farina, you shouldn't be selfish. But what if it's really all right? Farina, you've worked so hard for so long. Is it such an outrageous thing to do anyway? If you let this opportunity slip through your finger, think about it. Long and hard. No, I have nothing to say. I am Farina, the Archon of Fontaine. Everything will surely get better. All you need to do, dear spectator, is to witness my performance until the curtains fall.
Fine.
So even Farina doesn't know the truth? You've never once let her in on the full plan?
Yes, it had to be done. To deceive the heavenly prince, she did very well. If she had let her resolve falter even once in these 5, it seems that trusting humanity was the right decision after all.
I believe that I understand how your deception works, but that is only half. How would you build on this foundation to save?
Ah, good, good. Of course, the Iudex of Fontaine has pinpointed the crux. I'm sure you've long sensed that the Oratrice is no simple machine, yes?
I've always suspected that it had its own consciousness. And Lenny did mention that he heard a human voice within the core chamber. It now seems that that person was...
And then I became one with the Oratrice, taking Fontaine's gnosis with me. Yes, it would seem so, wouldn't it? Alas, your understanding of this device still lacks sufficient depth. In truth, it is no enactor of justice. It is, in fact, a device created to kill the god of justice.
I beg your pardon?
Oh, you have it. And to be more precise, not only will the Oratrice take down the god of justice. I mean, did you think I would be the sort to enjoy peaceful repose while Farina's... My work over these last 500 years has been to constantly accumulate... But really, some have already discovered that only a small fraction of the vast majority had to be accumulated to...
It was all a part of your plan, then?
Indeed. This power, accrued over 5 centuries, could have sustained Fontainians for millennia, had it only been used for that. But only power of this magnitude could hope to destroy the Hydro Archon's divine throne, shaking the rules established by Celestia, and breaking through the institution that is the Seven.
So the Oratrice's call for death was for neither Farina nor Focalor, but for the Hydro Archon. The destruction of that divine throne, if I do not misunderstand your intent.
Returning what's rightfully yours to you, of course. In other words, this was all done to return the authority of the Hydro Archon to the...
But...
Oh, what? Getting sad again, are we? The authority of the ancient dragons shall soon be yours once more, O Hydro Dragon Sovereign.
All you've done throughout the years is just so you can sacrifice yourself at the very end.
I've never quite seen it that way, you know. Even now, I'm quite pleased at how well my deception worked. Hydro Dragon, don't cry. I must say, had it been within my rights, I would have loved to judge the heavenly principles themselves. Were they not guilty of ascent? Egeria stole the power of the primordial sea, and the heavenly principles stole the power you ancient dragons. I, for my part, am the god of justice. Speaking of justice, I have always believed that justice lies in the process of pursuing human existence itself. So, if the theft of the primordial sea's might was Fontaine, then, leaving matters of procedural right and wrong aside, the descent of the Fontainians as humans and their right to exist in this world. In other words, existence was Egeria's justice, and to me, justice is the continuation of that existence, defying the prophecy and ensuring that Fontaine's people shall live on. At this point, we, whether it be myself or all other Fontainians, have shouldered the burden of Iudex Neuvillette, the highest judge in our land.
So when I was invited to the court of Fontaine to serve as Eudex, I see now that that was your idea too, at last. I now understand the true purpose behind this position. In the beginning, I was uninterested in human existence. But these 5 centuries of living alongside them have gradually brought about mutual understanding between us. And I have even attempted to feel as they feel. You are a devious one, Focalor. Things being as they are, surely you know that I could never declare them to be guilty.
The hour of my execution is almost here. For the sinner, the curtain call has come. I know I may not sound it, but faced with death, I find myself a little afraid. Perhaps this is one thing both gods and humans have in common. Farewell, Nervalette. I hope you've enjoyed the part you played these 500 years.
Eudex Nervalette, hereby declare, people of Fontaine, your sins are forgiven.
What just happened? Has the death sentence been carried out?
Was that bright light some sort of misdirection?
But since we're all still alive and haven't...
It's time to end this. We must mete out punishment to that beast.
But... didn't you say just a moment ago that I can't...
I have gained the strength sufficient to deal with it. Through certain means, I now have the ability to separate the power of the primordial sea from that creature. We should seize the opportunity to pursue our quarry. Traveler, now that the oratories can no longer function, I require an executor to help me mete out the root of the calamities befalling Fontaine, the beast that enacts the prophecy. Its name is the all-devouring narwhal. Come with me, traveler. The hour of execution has come.
We're going to execute it? But how are we going to do that? It's huge!
I've already done my best to separate the power of the primordial sea from the whale. Considering the size of the beast, I cannot reach the power source. Unless I find a way to attack it from within. I shall share a part of the ancient dragon's power with you. We shall look for an opening together.
Everything!
I can feel the sorrow turning into hostility. Devouring narwhal cannot resist its instinct to devour. Continue to trigger its hostility. Chance will present itself.
Time down!
I'll protect us.
To oblivion! Shine down!
I have granted you my protection. Do not fear. Seize the moment and use my power to suppress the truth from within.
Come on! We can do it!
Inazuma shines eternal!
Water jet!
Shine down!
Grow, grow, grow!
Thanks for helping with the cleanup. It should have been my job, but... oh well. It was just supposed to be a short private training session for me. I didn't think that my disciple and my master's pet would start brawling in the meantime. Well, actually, I had a feeling that it would happen at some point, but they bumped into one another earlier than I thought. What a
That power. Who are you exactly?
Paimon has an idea. From what what she said earlier, she must be Child's master. It's just that he gave us the impression that she was the less talkative person.
I simply did not have anything to say to the weak. But you, on the other hand, managed to defeat the all-devouring narwhal without using power, so you may speak to me as equals. I have to agree. It's a strange use of a planet's primordial waters just to raise that kind of power is wasted on it. It's not cooperative. It eats too much. And I have more important things to do with my time than pet sitting. The only thing that creature has going for it is its looks. All in all, it fails as a pet.
Miss Skirk? I think you might have missed the point.
The point being?
Well, being that this pet almost destroyed an entire nation. So what sort of person is your master? Well, Child's master's master. Wait, is that right?
Oh, right. So you don't know him. Sorry, I assumed you did. His name is Sir Taloji.
Huh?
I am unfamiliar with that name.
Huh. So Master isn't sufficiently famous. How should I describe him then? Have you heard of the name The Fowl?
The Fowl?
Still nothing? Well, how about the Visionary? Vetterfulnir then? Or Gold Rhindaughter?
Ooh, that one we've heard! Rhindaughter's part of the Hex—
Oh, so you do know that name. To be honest, I also heard all of those names and titles from my master. I don't actually know them either. But I suppose you understand now, yes? My master is likely a similar sort to Rhindaughter.
Wait! Didn't you also mention a visionary person? Hyman didn't quite catch their name.
Actually, never mind that. I believe it expedient to inform you that the all-devouring narwhal used up nearly all its strength fighting you. Such roiling hydro energies will prove difficult for the planet's deep seas to digest. As such, the fontaine back on the surface has most likely been thrown into chaos. In other words, the prophecy that you've been fretting over should now be in full swing.
What?
Not to worry. Focalor has already managed to deceive the heavenly principles.
In the end, the people will all be dissolved into the waters, and only Farina will remain, weeping on her throne. Only then will the sins of the people of Fontaine be washed away.
All hands, initiate emergency rescue!
Hurry! Hey, lend a hand! water's receding!
It's a miracle!
Water's receding.
We didn't dissolve. The prophecy was wrong. The prophecy was wrong!
We're saved.
The prophecy was wrong.
The soul renewed! The Spina di Rosula talks post-disaster rebuilding. I recently visited Poisson to meet with Miss Navia, spokesperson of the Spina di Rosula. And we spoke old soil can still give birth to new bloom, Miss Navia stated. Skyship Winglet, Booner Bane of the Fontaine Reef, the various disputes that have arisen on account of Mr. Edwin have settled. People always call the first researcher mad, but few know what to call the second. And wow! Paimon barely recognizes the people in the reports. Are those really Jurier?
What do you think? Pretty enthralling, huh? The Steambird's idea was the value for these big scoops lies in their inevitable follow-ups. We'll publish further reports and go into the stories behind those people. Edwin's assistant, Jurier, created a true flying ship, while Navia is leading people in the
Paimon's curious too!
And that's exactly why I'd like you to come conduct interviews with me.
Are you sure?
Oh, this time will be different. Come on, let's head...
Oh, it's you. What brings you...
Hey, we're just having a look around.
I'm here to update myself on how things are going here. Oh, the Fatui are here too!
Let me introduce you. This is Mr. Garunt Snežević. He represents... Our residents are hard at work as well. Thanks to everyone, work is progressing.
Hello, Miss Charlotte. I'm a big fan of yours. I especially like that article you wrote last year. But if you don't mind, could you not emphasize our role too much in your report? It's not charity we're doing.
I get where you're coming from. I'll keep it as simple as possible. Or...
That would be fine. Thanks.
Oh, you're back too. How are things?
We finished laying down the construction materials. It'll be another hour.
Huh? You're here too, Clarant?
Well, her reputation's greatly risen after that whole duel business with Miss Farina. So she's here in Poisson to wait out the heat. All right.
There's too much to consider in the reconstruction of Poisson. The Spina has need of more decision-makers.
Oh, wait just a moment. Do you mind me asking a few questions? You know, about how you felt before the...
Forget it. I'm sure you can find a better theme than that.
I see you're the same as always. Couldn't you do me a favor?
Well, if we're talking about doing things for my sake, You might as well just take a few more photos of me. Or of the Traveler.
Of course I will. I'm not gonna let him off that easy. All right, then everyone who wants to be in the photo, gather up. And smile.
How did it go? Was it a good shot? Did Paimon look cute?
Not bad. Your addition really helped the composition of the picture. All right, hang on a moment. Let me snap a few more shots. All right, that should do it. I'll be back here later anyway, so let's call it a day.
You're very quick.
Speed is of the essence when it comes to the news. Also, not to brag, but I'm pretty good at building
Wow, you really do have that never say die.
I'll hazard a guess that this is how you got that interview at the Fortress of...
Whoa, you're well informed. Let me make a guess too.
That's a very complete information chain.
In truth, all Monsieur Neuvillette asked me was, when did the I told him that it was best not to speak too...
You're right. I've got to treasure every moment I have with them. In which case, I'll be making a move first.
Stay safe now. And tell me if you hear anything interesting.
You seem curious about the fortress.
Of course. That Risley. I still remember going down to the fortress to grill him for...
But he did invite you to tea.
2 large pots of it, in fact.
I have to agree. The tea...
Speaking of that, would you like to have some today? I mean, you've got time, right?
Well, I'd be partial to some shortbread.
Wow, it's like we've got a menu or something. Sure.
Good.
What flavor of biscuits would you like, Mr.
Me? I'm fine with anything. But I would prefer chocolate, should you have it.
All right. Leave it to me.
I'll go over the newly arrived supplies with you later, Mr. Snezhevich. We should be able to finish the...
That works great for me.
Is it just me, or did you get a new lipstick?
I did. It was a gift from Sijuin. Want to give it a try? I think the color would suit you, too.
Wow, guess we're here again, huh? There's a real nostalgic feeling to the...
Looks like you've been missing us.
Duke! Did you come all the way to the entrance to greet us?
Of course. I'm here to welcome you and our dear Miss Charlotte, whom are...
It's an honor to finally meet the much-rumored Duke. Thank you for consenting to my visit to...
No need to thank me. But that said, I shouldn't be the fo...
Of course, of course.
All right then, this way.
Hey, no need to be so nervous. Miss Charlotte, do these pictures really need to be published on the cover of the Steambird?
It would seem that Miss Lorvine doesn't want her face to appear beside that...
Sir, please don't say things...
But it looks like dear Mr. Juriard...
No, I just... This is my first time...
Now, I might not look it, but I actually did meet Mr. Edwin once. And I'll be honest, I enjoyed chatting with you more. You've definitely got more of that genius vibe. The boat that brought about a miracle. The ark that saved the people. Why, you recreated a myth back there, like an emissary of legend. Still, if I might ask...
Huh! Looks like Charlotte's trying to get herself another
I have to apologize, but that ship is presently in the bowels of our factory.
Really? Well, then in that case, could I have...
You already know my answer, I'm afraid. Best you interview our head nurse instead. Or perhaps you'd like to take another photo.
Did you really have to use the word couple? Well, then, 2 solo photos.
Is my hair messed up? Please, someone help me.
Things sure are getting pretty lively here. Oh, seems like everyone's here. Would any of you like to try this?
Ah, Sijui.
Hey, Miss Charlotte. Why don't you, sure. Come on, Miss Sijween, over this way. Let's find a brighter spot.
Huh? Sure. Do I have to smile? So, how have things been at the front?
Same old, as you can see.
Other than that flying ship, I got a tad too much.
That's why I decided to let the interview go through. We should direct more public opinions toward the...
You're too kind, sir. I believe that you too should have...
I'll just leave the spotlight to you two. I see. Lots of things happened that day, huh? Anyway, regarding that Harbinger, I'm not sure you remember.
He sure did win them over.
I'll tell them that there's good news and bad news. The good being that their boss seems fine, and the bad being that they must face
Oh, actually...
What change can there be? The fortress will keep chugging along, and so will my duties. As to what Miss Farina's departure will mean for the nation, and if our laws and governance will be transformed, we'll leave those to the folks in the overworld.
Hey, everyone. The photo shoot's done.
Good. In that case, let's call it a day here.
Thanks for your cooperation. Come on, Traveler, let's go. Till next time, everyone.
There'll be a next time?
Maybe. Who knows? I might write a story about the underwater factory next time. Until then... All right, last stop, the docks.
Oh, you know, I'd love to see you in one of Charlotte's photo shoots one day.
Is that really necessary? Our line of work doesn't really
It's precisely because we don't need the picture.
Maybe I'm just happy that I managed to once again avoid the spotlight.
Yes, you successfully kept
You should be happy for them. They have a bright future ahead of them.
The world remains constant over the centuries, but human life is like the dew at dawn, or a bubble rising through water. Transitory. All the world holds dear is but a backdrop of constant motion, I stand before it, alone and unchanging.
Navia mentioned that she stayed in touch with Linny and the others after working together. Apparently, they've been at the docks distributing these...
Traveler, Paimon. Ah, and Miss Charlotte, too.
Would you like a magic pocket?
What sort of gadget is it?
It's a wondrous bag that can be used to carry many things. The water level has returned to normal, but if
Trick a friend.
You could just make a friend like Fremine here. Isn't that right, Fremine?
Is this what you meant by, I'll help you make...
To be honest, that sounds pretty sweet. Could I have your contact, please?
Sure. Please, write down my address.
You sure are working hard to help Fremine socialize.
He was the one who proposed doing this. He even wants to assist in our magic shows.
Yes, I was planning to first introduce Pear as an assistant, and later Fremine himself. In the future, I think...
That said, would anyone want to see a diver escape underwater?
Oh, it'll work out. Every journey begins with a...
Lynette, could you come over? Miss Charlotte says she wants to take a picture.
Got it.
My, that Charlotte is rather perceptive. She got rid of everyone the moment she realized I had something to say to you. So, how have things been, Traveler? Father says that you did a great deal during the latest events. She's very grateful for your contributions to Fontaine.
That's all right. We were more than happy to help. So, what's she doing now?
Oh, I guess you haven't heard. After Lady Farina left, Father and Monsieur Neuvillette opened negotiation.
A diplomatic gift?
Yes, I was quite surprised it could have been done as an apology for the incident with Lord Child, or as thanks for his help in tying the... Furthermore, Father did also lend significant aid.
Well, that's true, but...
I would agree, but I've also...
So there's some
I suspect you'll have to ask him about that yourself.
Isn't he real bit... But back to the topic.
They say that he's returned to Snezhnaya to recover from his wound.
That's true. When you think about it, we've had loads of run-ins with the Fatu...
So shocked by such a simple switching of sides?
Father!
Well, what do you know? Come to the docks to see how my children are doing and meet the Traveler by chance. Please do not pay my accomplishments in Fontaine too much mind.
Are you going to take the Gnosis back to Snezh?
That is our duty as Harp. Don't be too preoccupied with sides. The goal of the Fatui concerns not a single place or person, but the switching my masks is something I've always... Well, that depends on many things. No one truly knows what the future holds. As for you, I very much look forward to our next collaboration. Good things cannot be achieved alone, and you've proved yourselves to be great partners. A vision? All right. I'll remember to return it. Thank you for keeping it safe for him this...
And that's a wrap for me. Huh? You're...
Greetings, Miss Journalist.
Hello. If I'm not mistaken, there are diplomatic channels I'll need to report to take a photo of you.
That is correct. So forgive me, but I will not be able to serve as a subject in your article. However, feel free to write as much as you'd like about our dear magicians and our upcoming rookie talent.
I will.
The sea breeze is quite pleasant. I shall continue my walk while the weather remains so agreeable. Farewell.
Farewell, Father.
Oh, she has such an intimidating presence. I didn't even dare to take a picture. Thankfully, I've already wrapped up all my pre-scheduled interviews.
Don't be too nervous. Why don't you take a magic pocket before you go? Here, Traveler, Paimon, you take one too.
To move things about?
That's right. Funny. I was giving out magic pockets when we first met too. And what do you know? I guess this must be life. We will all follow our own paths, and serendipity will lead. All right then. We'll be handing out pockets in some other districts later, so we'll get going now.
Well, guess we sent Charlotte off. Shall we go see how Neverlette's doing? As long as he's not so busy that he doesn't have time to chat anyway. You really are here, Neverlette. Paimon didn't think you were going to have free time this hour of the day.
Really? Oh, I suppose you must have met Mr. Linney. He took the time to greet me earlier. In any case, you came at a good time. I was just considering
Aw, Paimon's glad that you remembered. Thank you for keeping us on. All right, let's have it then. How was Fontaine actually?
It is strange how words can often leave a bitter taste.
Whoa. So that's what happened? Focalor destroyed the divine throne of the Hydro Archon and restored your power to you, transforming you into a fully fledged element. But Paimon still doesn't quite get what you did to save the...
For me, the authority of the ancient dragons refers to Fontainians were incomplete humans born of Egeria's use of the power of the... But so long as those primordial energies remain within them, I could use the ancient dragon's authority to grant them true blood, after the fashion in which life was first brought into being on this planet. In other words, when I gave my verdict, Fontainians became true humans, and thus would naturally no longer be dissolved by water from the primordial sea.
Focalor must have counted on you to make that decision as well. Your verdict was the key to making the prophecy appear to have come true while saving everyone. Yeah, and in a manner of speaking, Focalor finally managed to fulfill the original Hydro Archon's wish to turn Oceanids into real people too!
It seems from your expressions that you still have more things you wish to ask. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. I have investigated his case along many avenues, and I have learned that he once fell into an unknown chasm when he was young. There, by chance, he he awakened the all-devout. But whether it be by sentiment or reason, that should not have been enough to consider him the root cause of the disaster. As for the judgment passed by the whether it was due to that liability by association or Focalors deliberately using him to buy time.
Guess Focalors had Fontanians in mind the whole time. In the end, it was thanks to her that they finally became real humans. Hang on a second. Paimon suddenly got it. Back when Fontanians hadn't yet become real humans, were the children they had also transformed Oceanids?
Life has always flowed like water. Do you recall how Fontanians would often come to the...
Yeah! Lynette said the fountain is where all the waters in Fontaine come...
In truth, even those couples did not know that such prayers were no mere custom, but instead a form of Those Oceanids who were blessed within the spring water would later descend as new humans in the coming months.
Paimon sorta gets it.
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Yeah, about that. Risley said Farina has already...
Ah, Lady Farina. The people are only aware that her death sentence has not been carried out. She abdicated the post of Hydro Archon and left affairs related to that. I related Focalors' words to her faithfully and completely. After hearing that, she simply said that she was tired. Having said that, she then packed her things and moved out of the opera house.
But she's still got a place to stay, right?
You need not worry. I will make arrangements to ensure that she will not want for food, clothing, board, or In truth, I am somewhat happy for her. The wear and tear on her spirit will... But now that she no longer has to play the role of Focalors the Hydro Archon, she can finally lay down her burdens and lead a normal...
What about you then? What are your plans now that you've regained your full powers as the Hydro...
After Focalors passed on, the Oratrice also ceased to function. This matter will directly affect our trials. After much careful consideration, I've decided to take over its role in our courts.
Looks like you're still considering stuff from the...
As an elemental dragon, there are indeed many things that I must do. But this power and this duty, in a manner of speaking, you could say... As such, before I attend to my other responsibilities, I must first and foremost continue to serve Fontaine as its high... Additionally, the Hydro Archon's departure has brought about another problem, which is that the Opera House shall no longer produce indemnitium.
That's true. That power was derived from the people... Wait, but the various mechs and machines in this...
As I am now, I have full command over New Musia, and it can serve as a complete substitute. Another reason why I cannot quite leave.
Wow. This ancient dragon's authority stuff...
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Oh, that's right! They say you've given it to the knave as a diplomatic gift or something.
Leaving aside their intentionality, the two Fatui Harbingers have indeed... Their sole remaining goal in Fontaine, at least at this point, would seem to be the Gnosis. The Oratrice has ceased to function. The Hydro Archon's divine throne is now no more, and I do not need the Gnosis. As such, it has lost all meaning for Fontaine. If the Fatui have impure designs, then we might as well accede to their request now, and avoid unnecessary conflict.
What complicated considerations?
Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it. You will soon be heading to Natlan, I presume. I'm afraid that I have little talent as a travel guide, so all I can do is tell you what I know about that land. As far as I'm aware, Natlan can be said to be a nation of dragons.
A nation of dragons? You mean like you?
No, I suspect that I would not find myself welcome there. Unlike ancient dragons such as myself, the dragons of Natlan have undergone long years of development and evolution. Natlan is also the nation of war. War ravages those lands like an undying flame. There is one other piece of information I got incidentally from my negotiations with the Knave that I believe may be useful to you. The Harbinger known as the Captain has thrown his hat into the endless ring of war.
The Captain. Sounds like a real tough customer.
I suggest that you fully prepare yourself before going to Natlan. In the meantime, Fontaine's doors will always be open to you. Ask away. I will tell you the truth as I know it.
Hang on a sec. Paimon's still got a question. When we spoke to Linny earlier, he mentioned that your attitude towards giving, we guessed that there might be some reason for it that only you...
No wonder the House of the Hearth is the Fatui's intelligence division. They are certainly... So regarding this specific issue, I was just getting ready to share something.
What is it?
In truth, I exchanged some further words with that lady named Skirk after sending you two back to the surface. It went something like this.
see what's going on. You hurry over soon as well, alright, Nervalet?
What next?
The all-devouring narwhal isn't here, so I'm no longer getting any interference. I can finally catch the scent of your power. What it's made. It is the authority of the planet's primordial dragons, but with something very similar to a god's curse mixed in. It's quite a novel blend. I'm sure I've encountered something like this before. What was it again?
I do not know what you speak of.
Of course. How could I forget? You should have the remains of the third descender on your person, yes?
Remains? I've never heard of any such thing.
According to your parlance, I believe it may be called a gnosis.
Well, that much is true. After Focalor's divinity faded, she handed her gnosis to me. But I fear I have never heard of it described in the manner that you
I've been training with my master, the Fowl, ever since I was young, and I have never returned to the surface since. So most of the information I possess, I got from him. It is only natural for those who are greater than humanity to possess a different sort of common sense, which is why there are so many problems in our attempts to communicate with you. Regardless, you should probably get rid of objects of misfortune to prevent any disasters from to live in itself is a blessing. But once a person dies, the bonds he once had with this world shall all turn to curses.
What do you mean by that?
No need to fret. These are just my personal thoughts.
This third descender you refer to, who are they? And when did they die?
Master never mentioned them to me. Perhaps it just wasn't that important for me to know. If you're interested, though, I could ask him. I'll be sure to pass the answer on to you next time.
Next time? You believe we will meet again?
I do. Wait. I have a disciple of my own, don't I? He can be the messenger then.
That's what she told me. Whether it would prove useful or not, I wanted to pass that information on to you.
The remains of the third descender? So that's what the Gnosis actually are. Paimon just thought they looked like chess pieces. How could they be a person's remains?
All the same, assuming that there was no misunderstanding.
And she said that it would bring misfortune and that you should check it, which is why you gave it to the Fatui.
If she speaks the truth, then I would simply be putting Fontaine at unnecessary risk by keeping it. I had guessed that you might already be familiar with this concept, but that means that the Gnosis, which are exceedingly element-compatible and can even enhance elemental abilities. I wonder, does your body also possess similar properties?
Like being able to use elemental powers without a vision. That does sort of count as special. No, let's not think about this stuff right now. It just feels creepy. Comparing the Traveler to the dead third descender and all. That's what you say, but this topic still feels like bad luck. Once Child recovers, let's get some more answers out of him. Or go look for his master and get the answers then.
I too believe it unwise to make too many blind guesses when information is lacking. The same is true of being at court.
Alright. Whatever the case, it seems like the
Yes. All of Focalor's efforts were for this moment as well.
But she sacrificed herself in the end as a god, and she suffered through all those years as a human. Was that really what she wanted?
I suppose that would be the mystery of a god's will. I suspect not. But once in a while I too would guess that if wishes were like the clouds in the sky, they will one day return to the earth as raindrops. Life flows like water, and rain is the final answer. The water levels may sometimes tilt one way or another, and what ultimately is the difference between the rains that fall upon all of us.